right, life after divorce, part three. This is the kids because we can't talk about a married couple with children going through divorce, whether it was a blended family or whether it was, the children that you all share and think that your children aren't going to be impacted by this too. So, what I noticed is that in my situation, my ex husband left and he severed communication with his children as well, as if they had offended him somehow. And so, in that instance, my children also went through the divorce, if that makes sense. Because to do that to a young person is to say to them that you no longer want to be a parent and that you may love them, but in all honesty, you don't love them enough to stay or to communicate or continue to provide for them. And so that's what resonated in their mind, and it needed to be reinforced to them that, this person may not be showing you the love that you need, but that doesn't mean that I don't love you, that I don't care, because that's not true. And so I watched each of them, except for the baby at the time, fall apart. The baby really didn't know any better. Let's be real. He was like 3 or whatever. So, but the older ones that understood what was happening, they each had their moments, and they were angry. And so it's taken some time, and they're still not 100% okay. And when I say 100% okay, I'm saying with the dynamic with what happened during and after the divorce. But I can say that they've bounced back to a large extent because as their mom, I felt like it was my responsibility to encompass them with love and to let them know that I'm here for them. Very rarely in my children's lives have they ever spent a night apart from me. Very rarely. Now, there have been some instances with me traveling that has happened, or like my daughter getting married, clearly. She's going away with her husband doing stuff, right? But I've always been the present parent, and hopefully as long as I'm able to be, I will be, right? So your children do suffer. They're going to need that reinforcement from you and from other people that this wasn't targeting them. You can't teach someone how to love, but you can tell them what you need. And if they can't fulfill that, sometimes it's best to back away. So children are going to go through that. They're going to incur some kind of pain from the divorce as well. And you guys already know this. Allow your children to fall apart. Allow yourself. I can't say I felt guilty, but I can say that my love for my children made me more concerned for them than for myself. See, I could handle it because it wasn't shocking to me when, their dad decided that he'd had enough. But it hurt them. And so I wanted to make sure that they bounce back, that they don't start looking at other people, that they don't develop quote unquote daddy issues and take that into whatever relationship they develop at a later life. And so that meant that we had to have real talk, real discussions about how they would deal and cope with the divorce. And so I think the older they get, the more we communicate, because communication is so key, things have gotten a lot better for them. Now, I don't mediate either. I don't mediate between them and their dad because that's not my responsibility. But I do encourage them to heal. And the way I believe they need to heal is by having a frank, honest conversation with him and just being real. And he knows that as well, right? So life after divorce, part 3, your children are important. They're going to go through it with you. Just be that parent that's there for them, that can talk to them. And if you both are still actively involved in their lives, that's good, because they're going to need to know that they weren't the reason for the divorce. This is your girl, Essie. Remember, like, follow, comment, repost, and share. I'm out.